7 months in Navi Mumbai in one of the colleges of hotel management in Navi Mumbai. So after that, I'm currently working with Tepan Sizzlers in Sanpada as a head chef. I'm leading the team over there. That is my short and sweet introduction, as I'm the youngest one of them,
Good,
all
good.
of them.
No. The one thing that you said, we liked it very much. It says that you get to see the world and you get paid for it. That's the journey
Yeah, that's
which we're
true.
going to talk about. That's the journey we're going to talk about it today. So we'll move forward. I guess, Joseph, are you ready to introduce yourself, or your
Can you hear
technical
me?
problem has been? Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes,
much
yes.
better
Oh,
now.
yes,
So
Okay.
great.
yes, you can.
Please, Joseph. Chef Joseph is here. Uh, Over to you,
Can
Chef
you,
Joseph.
can you hear me now?
Yes,
We
sir.
can hear
Clear and audible.
loud and clear.
Okay, that's great. I'm June 93 batch pass out from IHM Bombay on BS Savarkar. Now, I had, 93, I joined ITC Hotels at the Working Group Management Institute, where I was for 2 years, during which I was based at, uh, I managed to travel around the different parts of the chain, Chennai, Nepal, and India. Years, I opened in 1990. I was there in 2000. In 2000, I moved to the shipping in Kuwait, when I was trying the shipping for Bukhara. In Kuwait, I was there in Kuwait for a brief time. After my contract there, I joined the services at the old Mumbai airport, which was probably now there's a flyover there, but you don't realize it. But this is opposite the Grand Maratha. In while, I was responsible for the operations at the international airport.
Oh, great. Great.
Was would also needed production to large scale where in 20 minutes they would say, you've got a 747 coming in, or you've got 3 coming in. Got 1,000 people coming to your door in half an hour or 45 minutes. And
So more of an airport hotel, where you can have immediately people coming and going. Yeah.
plus the food service outlets at the airport. I left that in 2001 to join Royal Caribbean, and I've been with Royal Caribbean. I had a 2-year stint with Royal Caribbean, during which it was a quarter when September 11 happened. People did trying times, and we thought that's the end of the world. Like, a lot of us think this is the end of the world, but it's not.
That
Those were great times when Royal Caribbean expanded its operations by buying out Celebrity Cruises, and a lot of other cruises that went down couldn't manage their cash flow at that time. So we came out of the crisis. Night follows week follows night. So we just had a better, bigger company when the crisis got over a year and a half later. And we had, so I was with Royal Caribbean, took a break for about a year and a half to work with Taj Holiday. So I've had the opportunity to work with Taj, the Oberois, and ITC in India for an amount of time. I've been with Royal Caribbean, been there ever since. The greatest part of it was traveling the world, and
true.
something that cannot be matched by any job.
True. So you get to travel the world and you get to see it for free and get paid for it. The same way it goes. That's quite a lot of experience, chef, you have here. So we are having a trouble with his audio. So while we check that, we will ask next question to Mr. John Scaria. Since a lot of people who are here, to have probably never worked on cruise lines. So do you want to give us a quick brief of how on working on cruise line is different from working probably on land or anywhere else?
Let me just give you a small brief of what a cruise ship is all about for people who have never worked or seen a cruise ship. Okay, uh, cruise ship by itself is considered to be a floating hotel. Okay, like if you uproot a big five-star deluxe hotel like the Hyatt or the Intercontinental or something like that and drop it into the ocean, that would be considered as a small cruise ship. Okay, cruise ships have got much more infrastructure. There are a lot more other facilities that are available on board ship, which are not available in a small hotel on land. Okay. Give you another small brief. Cruise ships could vary from size. I mean, it could be as small as 100 passengers on board a cruise ship. And the current new cruise ships that are coming out in the markets of Royal Caribbean and Carnival have got more than 6,000 passengers on board the ship. Okay, so that is the mammoth size of the ships. I mean, they are like a floating island, with so many people on board the ship. To give you a brief of what is it different from working on a cruise line compared to if you could compare it to a hotel here on land. Okay, I'll give you the benefits of what it is. First, as my other colleagues or speakers on the show said, you get to see the world and get paid for it. That is one of the most important benefits, or the best benefit that you could have from working at sea. Okay. Secondly, all the earnings that you get on board a cruise ship, as per the current Indian laws, is absolutely tax-free. You don't pay a single tax for your earning on board the ship. That is the second advantage you have. The third one is, if you do not spend a lot, don't have a lot of spendthrift activities, you can almost, can save almost all that you can earn, because your food and accommodation and things like that are taken care of on board the ship. So if you really want to save, you can save almost all that you can earn. The next benefit that you have while working on board a cruise ship is it's got very good prospects for promotions. Okay, but it is only for people who really work hard and prove their capabilities. The next point I would like to say is, apart from free food and accommodation, which I mentioned, the other facilities you have on board the cruise ships are a crew bar, a gymnasium, internet facilities. Okay. The last point or benefit that I would like to mention is that you get an opportunity to work with different nationalities on board the ship, and some of them could become, your friends forever.
True.
Okay. These are the biggest advantages that you get while you are working on board the cruise ship. I would also like to draw your attention to not drawbacks, but I would say it is one of the tough or the aspects while you work on board a cruise ship. You need to know that as well before you join a cruise ship. Okay, the difference is, when you work in hotels, you get a weekly off, right? Some of the hotels now, I believe, have turned to a 5-day week. Okay, and some hotels are even doing away with broken shifts in F&B, like in the kitchen.
Yeah, the break shift issue has to,
exactly,
broken shift. It's gone away.
Some hotels in India are doing away with that culture. But on board a cruise ship, you can expect that to continue. Okay, so you work 7 days a week without a single day off for 6 to 9 months at a stretch, and depending on what is the position that you're working on the ship. Okay, so that is a tough life. Second, you are working in a very closed environment. Okay, so you work in your restaurant or in your kitchen or in front office with the people around, the same people you see You go back at the end of your shift, go to your room or what is called as a cabin on board the ship. You see the same person. Okay, so that is one of the challenges of how you get accommodated or used to that conditions. The third one is sharing your accommodation with another person. It could be, may or may not be from the same nationality that you are on. Most of the people on board the cruise ship have got sharing cabins or rooms. Only senior officers on board the ships are privileged to have a single room facility on board. The last and final thing which
Sir, Sushant left.
everybody needs to know is you're going to be away for long periods of time from home. Okay, and you may miss very important events of your friends and family.
Yes.
Which unfortunately is one of the drawbacks of working on board a cruise ship. So I mean, there are a lot of other things I would like to say about differences, but I would, there are my other speakers who are there with me who will throw some light in their particular area.
I'm sure. But you're given a quick short. You're given quite good perspective to us. About working on cruise ship. The benefits are more than the hardships. So no, but be wary. There are some hardships which are there. Thanks, sir. Now coming to Mr. Pramod Verma, you have been also working for quite so many years in the cruise ship. So besides the F&B department, which are the other departments which are there for people who can look for aspiration to work on ships?
Pramod, sir, you have to unmute yourself, please.
Your video is.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Besides the F&B department, which is probably the biggest department on any of the cruise ships, the other departments would be the front office, as they call it, pursers. Then there will be what we call it concessionaires. Concessionaires are basically people who work on contract basis. They're hired by different agencies. They are into shops like shop assistant, jewelers, watch sellers. Then you have casino dealers, casino managers, security staff. Then you have entertainers like DJs, actors, comedians, directors. Okay. Yeah, backstage crew, engineers, production managers. There are also a lot of Indians coming up. There's a print shop as well. So there's a printer you can join as. Then there is salon, spa. You can join as a massage therapist. You can join as a hairstylist. You can join as a fitness instructor or a gym trainer. You can join as even the front office as a usual front office people, which we know as a front office manager and receptionist. There's other positions which you can join is international hostesses, which are basically girls and boys who know different languages, and they've been hired by the cruise companies to take care of French, Italian, Japanese, Chinese, Thai, and all these different nationalities, Portuguese, Brazilians who travel, and they can interact with them because the cruise ship needs people to
Lost his connection.
Pramod, you've again gone on mute.
Sorry.
Okay. Now it's better.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes,
now
we
it's
can.
better.
Yeah. So Deccan Engine also are another option which people can join. A lot of agencies in India are sending people on the cruise ships as deck officers, technical officers, electrical officers, engineers, electricians, fitters, pumpers, oilers, able seamen. So there's a lot of openings on the cruise ships in each and every department, and as crew members from India, there is a lot of openings. So people can even go and join other part of the cruise ships.
That's thanks sir for highlighting it to us. We only thought it was the few departments. So you opened the light and shown that there are so many departments which you can work on. Great, sir. So we'll come back to you. Meanwhile, chef, since a lot of people always are interested to work on kitchen, can I ask Chef Joseph Matthew? How are the kitchens on cruise liners different from what the kitchens? How are they from different? Come from the what you see or what you, people work what we work on land or probably cook in India. Can you hear me, Chef Matthew? Chef Joseph is having a challenge here.
You can hear me.
Hello. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
The biggest you see on a cruise ship, you don't see on everywhere else in the world is volumes on 100 times more than what you see anywhere else. So, the one Caribbean's transfer of ships, for example, I'm going to give you an example of what the ship, like 8,000 passengers include, 6,000 passengers include 8,000 lives on board, 100,000 meals a day. That
I'm not a
group of what bigger kitchens,
bigger kitchens. Yes. Okay.
bigger.
Joseph, there's a problem from your side. We cannot hear you. We cannot hear you, Joseph. We cannot hear you.
Here, everyone.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Kitchens are bigger. Kitchen takes care of the dining room. Each dining room has got a capacity of about 750. That's fast. You have to be super fast, super organized.
So super organized. That's what to understand. No, we are having some technical problem with
With
the.
Joseph's audio, actually.
No? So, Chef Sushant, can you take this? Can you take this question, please, Chef? Can you hear me?
Sushant, you'll have to unmute yourself, please.
Chef Sushant Handagli.
Yes, sir.
So, do you want to take this question? Complete the question because I know Chef was trying to say something about big.
So I will complete it out. No worries, I'll complete it. The kitchen are much more bigger than what we see in the restaurant because it has been divided into sections. Because in on the land on the hotels, we have kitchens which have been everything has been prepared in one place. We don't have different section except the butchery and the patisserie. But in ships, we have different sections. That we have roast, we have soups, we have veg section where only vegetables can be prepared. We have tonard where all the appetizers, vegetarian appetizers, as well as the Indian food has been made. We have the roast section where only the roasting and grilling and other stuff has been done. We have the sauce section which take each and every care of the sauces. Then we have the different pastries section, and there are a lot many others specialty restaurants as well. So it has been it's been like it's a beautiful place to work on because each and every section has been separated with different kinds of galleys, and the main thing is each and everything is on electricity. There is no fire anywhere on the ship because it's quite dangerous because we have around like 7,000 from 2,000 to 10,000 lives on board, including the crew members. So we have to take care of each and every guest of ours, and so like for us, like it's Atiti Devo Bhava. For like the guest is always a god for us because uh, that's where the money comes from. So that's the region, like the food which has been prepared, it's of a high quality, and then it has been prepared under the specializations of each and every chef who are there and under the guidance of them. So kitchens are very different, and it has been all electric kitchens. So we have to be very careful with them as well.
Rajesh, you'll have to unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, one. Sorry. Yeah. So the kitchen are electric. That's what I understood. We have all understood. And kitchens are called galley. That was another thing. Thanks for all the information on the kitchen. Just to continue, what are the normal working routine of a chef or in the kitchen or in the galley? I mean, chef, do you want to take this question as well?
Sure. Each and every chef working in the galley or the kitchen has a different role to play, because like on the daily routine, because each and every chef has a different kind of role depending from the commie till the executive chef. But the morning always starts with the morning meeting. All the chefs, including the CDPs, comes near the table, and the morning meeting is held in the guidance of the sous chefs as well as the executive chefs, and where they plan for the lunch and the dinner menu, about how the day is gonna go accordingly. But for the chefs working on board, their prep is always starts 1 day prior or 2 day prior in advance, because we have to think ahead as per the service, because we are serving like more than 2,000 people, and we cannot run out of the stuff during the service time, as the stuff which we get on the ship are mostly in the frozen conditions. So we don't want to run during that time, and if we get the frozen stuff and if there is not being thawed properly, and we don't want to compromise on quality anyhow, because on the ships people pay a lot of money to come on ships, and quality is the main concern than the quantity. And because of working on the ship, kitchen is not about doing a task, it's all about planning. Task is done which are been like on, if the restaurant is on the land, so we come in the morning and we plan the work accordingly. But on the ships, we have to plan 1 day in advance, because the stores which we get on the ships are for the 7 days completely. So we have to plan accordingly. We have to see the first in first out procedures. We have to carry them effectively, because we cannot keep more stuff lying and getting the new stuff, and the old stuff which is there has been getting spoiled or rotten out. So so it's quite a challenging routine every day, but once you get used to it, it's a fun working place, where you can work hard and you can party harder. So that's how the place working on the ship. It's quite challenging, but it's very beautiful to work on the ship.
Thank you, Chef, for telling us work hard, party harder. That's I'm sure most of the students will like that. Yeah, coming back to you, John, sir. Now we will. There's one. We would like to know which are the various opportunities which obviously we have for people, and especially for females. For girls. I know Pramod sir has elaborated on the departments and positions which you have, but if you could also give us, can you throw light on how females can be, what are their opportunities for them, and how safe is for the cruise ship for them?
John, so you have to unmute yourself, please.
John, you have to unmute yourself. John.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Rajesh, for bringing this question forward. And as Pramod mentioned, most of the departments on board ship do employ females in various positions. Okay, so for example, if you were to look into the most occupied departments, or the number of people working are F&B, front office, housekeeping. All these places are open opportunities for female staff. In fact, now all cruise ships are desperately vying to add more females into the cruise lines. Okay, so if it is for an F&B, you can look at for anything from a restaurant waitress or a bar waitress on board the cruise ship to start with. Okay, in the front office, you could join as a front office receptionist. Housekeeping, you could join as a cabin stewardesses, or you could join as what you call as a floor supervisor or a housekeeping deck supervisor. Okay, these are in the departments which have got the most opportunities. Not that females do not have opportunities in other departments. The Other department where there are a lot of opportunities for female staff are the kitchen department, which is known as galley on board the cruise ship. Okay, they could. I've known a lot of female staff who are working on board cruise ships, and have joined in the level of commies and have risen up to sous chefs and senior sous chefs on board. So there are a lot of opportunities for females to join as well as get promoted on board as well. They could also join in other departments on board ship, like the casinos. There are opportunities for female photographers on board cruise ships. And the other areas where they have is spa and beauty salon, which is the wellness department. They could join as spa in the spa, or beauty salons, hairdressers. There are also opportunities in the retail section on board the cruise ships. As Pramod mentioned, you have watch specialists, you have jeweler specialists, you have general sales associates, you have beauty sales associates who sell beauty products on board cruise ship. Okay, a couple of things which I would like to bring to this is there are other opportunities for people to work on board cruise ship are in the medical department as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They also hire for doctors and nurses as well on board the ship, because just to let the people know who have not worked on board cruise ships, every ship has got a small hospital on board the cruise ship, which is very well equipped with a couple of doctors and a few nurses as well. So if anybody falls ill, be it a passenger or be it one of the crew members who are working on board ship, they can be given immediate attention by the doctors on board the cruise ship. And these are the departments where females can actually work. Okay. I think I've covered most of it. Is there any other thing that you want me to touch on, Rajesh?
No. I guess you have given us a complete, good corporate solution for a lot of females who needed probably most of the departments. That's what we wanted to know. I'm sure the girls will be happy here. The next question, obviously, is to Mr. Pramod.
One more point, Rajesh, one more point which you had asked.
Yeah.
How safe is it for female staff to work on board a cruise
how
ship?
safe? Yes, exactly. Coming back to that.
Exactly. Okay. So that is a myth. I mean, I can give you a very great assurance that all cruise lines have got a very strict policy when it comes to sexual harassment, alcohol abuse, drug policies on board the ship. These are very, very strict on board the ship, which has got zero tolerance. Okay. So if when it comes to sexual harassment or abuse by anybody, all that the female or it could be a male as well who could get harassed. Okay, so they could take up the matter through their head of department, and there is an immediate hearing that is conducted by the master of the ship, and there is zero tolerance for anything like this. Okay, let me give you a small example. Even if a girl complains that there is a boy who is staring onto me and looking directly into me every time I pass by or I'm working, that could also amount to sexual harassment. It's as strict as that. Okay, so depending on the grievance of the issue, the crew member could immediately be sent back home in the next port of call. So it is as strict as that. So it is absolutely safe for female employees to work on board a cruise ship.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Mr. John. That's good to know that all the cruise ships are safe for females. I'm sure many of the girls will be happy to look at that as a challenging career for themselves. Mr. Pramod, just for us to ask you, what is your guidance, since you also have had a lot of experience? What is your guidance for the people who are aspirational to go on the cruise ship? How should they go about it?
First, I would like to start with you need to make a few decisions for yourself. The first thing is you need to check mentally and physically. Are you ready to work on a ship? That's the first most important question you have to ask for it. because it's not an easy place to work. It's, as John mentioned and other chefs mentioned, what are the pros and cons of working on a ship? Uh, it is a very difficult environment. It is a very constrained environment because you're going to stay away from your family. You're going to work long hours. You're going to stay with different nationality, people you don't know, people you don't speak your own language. It's a very, very different sort of life you're going to live. So first you need to prepare mentally that are you ready to work on the ship? Second thing is, if you want to work on a ship and you have made up your mind, you need to start from basic. You need to get a proper education, like Bharatiya Vidyapeeth is giving all the degrees and diplomas. Uh, get yourself acquainted with the profile job you want to work. You want to apply on a galley or in the front of the house, reception or housekeeping. Work in a good organization. There are a lot of people who come to us, and they are very nice boys and girls, but they don't have adequate experience in working in a good hotel or a good company. And that's very important to begin your career with. So take up a good organization, work in a good hotel. You will learn good things. You will learn very, very important things. The basic things will be clear. That's the first part of it. Then prepare yourself. You need at least couple of years of experience in hotel industry before you start applying in all the agencies. Uh, Start engaging. My recommendation is start engaging with recruitment agencies. Check quite often what's happening. Right now, everything is on internet. Not like us. When we were applying, there was no internet, so we have to go to the offices all the time. Everything is on internet. Keep on applying. Keep on trying. Prepare yourself. Have what I saw was when we were looking for a couple of staff members, they were not prepared well. They lack basic knowledge of the restaurant business. As I was recruiting some assistant waiters and waiters, so prepare well, learn a lot, learn about the hospitality has changed a lot. Right now, it's just not anymore classic variants what we used to be. The restaurant food and service has evolved a lot. There's a lot of new cuisines. There's a lot of fusion cooking coming up into all the new outlets. There's a lot of celebrity chefs which are working on the ships, and every company right now has some kind of celebrity chefs engage with them. So what happens is you need to know more about the company, what they're doing, what type of cuisine they serve, and then you need to make up your strong base. That's the first thing about preparing yourself. Have a good knowledge. Second, customize your CV. Prepare a nice CV for yourself. There are hundreds and hundreds of applications which comes to agencies. I can tell you they don't read at all. They don't have time to read every single application or every single CV. So make your CV very short. I've seen waiters applying, but they have a 4-page CV. I don't have time to read 4-page CV. None of the agencies have time to prepare and see your 4 pages. Prepare short and sweet, be to the point, what you want to do and what you want to apply. Uh, then, when you go for interview, dress smartly. Uh, Dress smartly, look very smart, look very confident, and be prepared for the questions that are thrown at you. The most important thing, what people look to work on a ship as a recruitment or any of the companies is, do you have passion and drive to work on the ship? Are you going to be there for a long time? You're just not going to run away after one contract getting scared. So my recommendation is step by step prepare yourself, and also I would recommend all the young boys and girls. Uh, you have a lot of time. You have 3 years in college, then you have a couple of years of experience before you start applying in the industry. Uh, you can increase your English conversation. We, like all of us who are speaking right now, when I was in college, my English was not good enough, but I prepared myself. I learned. I worked in the hotels and improved my English conversation, which will help you not only to get a job on the cruise ship, but also to be successful on in any of the cruise companies, because that's a very important part of your growing up. If you speak good English, you will be highlighted. You can converse well with your guests and the passengers. That will highlight on your ratings. Good comments will come out, and obviously you will start succeeding. So these are the few basic points you need to work. And if you're applying for a receptionist job, or if you are very interested in front of the house, learn a foreign language if you can. If you have time, learn a foreign language, which will open up a lot of options for you. Now you're only not applying for a receptionist post, you can also apply for international hostess job as well. So instead of applying for one position, you have opened yourself two positions which you can apply. Same thing I would recommend for galley as well. All the boys and girls who wants to go in a galley, learn about new cuisines, learn about celebrity chefs, left what's happening, the modern trends in the cookery, and modern trends in the restaurant operation. And that's all you need to get successful in the interview and successful in the cruise companies as well.
Great. That I'm sure it's a $1 million advice to all the students who are here. Whatever you said, I completely agree. Very much needed. Good CV, good presentation skill. So you have time. Another language. Yes, all positives. Good. Thank you, Mr. Pramodji, for touching on this. We have chef and chef. If I guess no. You should be the perfect person to answer this. We wanted to know, what are the hardships which you have uh, on board, and why do people quit? We have seen a lot of people quitting. With your experience, so big, vast experience of working on cruise ships on board, can you give us an experience? Can you tell us how, why people quit, and what are the hardships which are there?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, much better. I guess. We can hear you better.
Okay, hardships. It's all about attitude. If you want to say that I have my mom's cooking and I want to have only nice people around who are always nice to me and it's always going to be sunny and I'm never going to have any bad weather and it's going to be great and I never have to work hard, then you need to wake up. So I think there are some people who I've seen who come from a solid background where they have got a lot of skills, but they don't have the right attitude. You can be trained, you can be molded. I can give you, like you mentioned, with girls becoming, chefs and sous chefs. My chefs in World Caribbean, corporate chefs, very much chefs, doing 1 million meals a day for the. So it's actually, like what I say in the kitchen is, I don't have boys or girls in my kitchen. I have chefs. So again, it's your attitude. It's what you bring to the table. Now the only reason why I'm leaving from the ship only because of problems at home. Trouble with family where they need to go back and take care of their family, or very often now in the 10th or 12th, and they need to take a year off. They said, you know what, I can't manage to. This is a very important year for my kids, or so I have to be there for my kids' 10th standard or my 12th standard. There's a time when people have to go, and it's the main reasons why people leave because they've got other commitments. The reason why people stay on foot is the money, and you make a lot of money. You start as a Tommy 2 with a $750 salary to start with. $750 into 70 rupees on aaj ki tarikh mein. It's your starting. Your overtime is over that. So you're looking at 1,000 rupees, 1,000 US dollars. Now, as long as we stay focused on what we are there for, it makes everything else easy. I'm there for the money, you're there for the money. Everyone is there to make a good tax-free salary. $1,000 into 70. That's 70,000 chips, 70,000 rupees in your pocket, tax-free. They fly you in, they fly you out, everything's there. Stay focused on what is important and life is easy. Remember that challenges will come, but your ability to get over the challenges is very important. Personal priorities at home, or they've got a child's education at home, because third world country, rupees, or a pound is 85, or a pound is, you know,
Almost 100 now. Yeah.
there is nobody in India is going to give you that kind of money tax free.
It's a tax free as well. You get
There,
that's true. So that's true.
like when they in our grade books, guy, do you see the tree? Arjun said, no, I don't see the tree. Do you see the branches? I don't see the branches. Do you see the bird? No, I don't see the bird. So what do you see, Arjun? Eye of the bird. Focus
Yes.
on what you came. So when Arjun said, I can see the eye of the bird, then he said, Arjun, shoot the eye of the bird. Because that is the reason you come there to make lots of money. How much? Lots. Starting from $1,000 per head. Next chef would make 10,000. My biggest chef, $1,000 a month. 10,000 into $70.
That's huge lot of money. That's almost 7-8 lakh per month. Yeah, it's huge money.
Yeah, and that's free. That's
Tax
absolutely
free.
tax free.
Tax free. That's per month. So almost crore in a year.
I would know what is it. Okay, if I'm going to give you 70,000 rupees, there is hardships. Attitude, yeah. Like Sir John said, like you said earlier, there are very if there's a problem, it's so well organized that it will be resolved. Whether it's people you can talk to, you got people who have got advice. On our ships, we got a buddy system where everyone who new comes on board. Like we've got all these 65 students who are here. When they come on board, we assign them a buddy, someone their age group or from their department or from their section, who works along with them or from their nationality. Anything, he's your buddy. He's going to walk you. First 3 months, you don't know what to do. You've got someone to talk to. We have found that training costs up. So as long as we train our people well, all up and running. You specifically ask, really, it's a very easy life with free money.
True. Yeah. So the tax-free money is more important. The hardships will come and go, but you need to stay focused. That's very important. Thank you. Thanks for the advice to the students as well. Chef Sushant, just quickly, can you advise us? Can you advise the students here who wish to become the budding chefs? What is the what is the experience they need to collect to work on a cruise ships? Which department, which section? Can you elaborate there, sir?
Okay, sir. And like I will suggest them to go and see the life of the seaman or the ship at least once in their life. Like the life is amazing, but for that you have to complete your degree first. Like you have to have your base strong,
Yes.
which I have did it from Bharati Vidyapit itself. So and Mr. Aniket sir was my mentor, so he made sure that my base was strong. Okay, the more you know, that's as it is said that knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you get. Okay, there is never an end of learning something, and in our industry, which is changing daily, with something new is coming every single day, there is no excuse for anything. You have to know. It means you have to know. You should have your vision clear that what you want to do and what you want to be. If you want to be a chef, which if you want to be a patisserie, or you want to be a pastry chef, or you want to be a hot galley chef, or you want to be specialized in something, when you have to know something, it means you have to know something. You cannot say ki, if your chefs comes and ask you what is there and you don't know, that kind of excuse you cannot give on the ship, because there are guests with different nationalities. Yes, sir.
Can you give your experience with Joseph Matthews? How did he treat you? There are many students who want to know what was
I'm coming. I'm coming in there.
Okay.
I'm coming over there. I saw that question, there is one thing which Chef Matthew always says, that if you have 7 hours to cut a tree, you have to make sure that 6 hours you sharpen the axe. So if you sharpen the axe for 6 hours, you don't have to cut the tree for 7 hours. Just one shot after that, and the tree is down. So it is like that. Like I still remember my first day on the ship, where I was standing right in front of you call it a island because you have been surrounded with the food, and you're standing on a carving station, carving one of a meat piece for the guests who have been there. And me, a 21-year-old boy, never been outside Mumbai, and I was there in United States of America, sailing from Miami, and 6 o'clock in the evening. I still remember that day very clear, that evening very clear in my mind. 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening, first day on ship, and I was serving prime rib, which I never saw, beef, which I never saw in my life, and I was serving. So being an Indian, I was like, okay, good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Prime rib. And Chef Matthew was standing up quite away from me, and he was observing me for 15-20 minutes. He came after that, after the uh, people move around, and he asked me, what are you serving? I said, prime rib. And he asked me what part of beef it is. And my basics were very, they were not that strong enough, but still they were. I was knowing the parts of beef, the 17 cuts of beef. I still remember right now as well. So I told him what is prime rib, and he's saying, you have been serving it with what? And I was like, that I don't know. And he just took me right, left, and center, there and there in front of everyone, and that was the best experience. And he molded me in each and every part of the kitchen, because from Comi 2, and he said it's $750 now, but when I joined it was $695. So from there I almost $2,200. So like that journey was amazing. Chef Matthew was standing right behind me every now and then. If I'm doing something good, he was there. If I'm doing something bad, he was there. He has already given me 2 opportunity logs, 3 verbal counseling, and 1 written warning, which I remember very well if he doesn't remember it. So he was there as a backbone supporting me. But you have to be very clear. Your vision has to be very clear. Your basics has to be very strong. And it is a saying on the ship: if the ship is moving, move along with the ship, guys. Don't move on the opposite direction. Otherwise, you'll start feeling dizzy and you'll start throwing up. So, but you have the best. Like if you're moving with the ship will take you somewhere else.
Very true.
That's
Very
what I want
true.
to tell my budding chef.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. So don't try to go across the
Go
wrong.
opposite direction of the ship.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
your
will get
your
tired
basics
yourself.
strong.
Yes. Just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. The flow will take you to the right
That's true.
direction.
That's true.
Thanks again for the $1 million advice, Chef. Obviously, coming from you and Joseph Matthew, for
Thank you so
mentoring our
much.
student of Bharti Vidyapit, who could achieve such great heights because of your helping him and assisting. I'm sure a lot of chefs are there on board like him. Moving on, since we are talking about promotions, Mr. John Scaria, how do people on board do get promotions? Do they have to apply, or no? They go for promotions and transfer to other department. Can you throw some light on this, sir?
Yes, Rajesh, thank you for this question. If I were to say about promotion policies and change of departments, practically every cruise line has got a slightly different policy. Okay, if most of the cruise lines, when it comes to promotion, have got a similar way of evaluation, which is called as an appraisal. Okay, so just to let you know that all ships, crew members or all the staff that join the ship are always joining on contractual basis. Unlike India, where you get a permanent employment, on board ships you work on contractual basis. So every time you join a ship, you sign a new contract. Okay, as long as you do your job well on board the ship, most of the cruise lines give you an opportunity to work on one of their ships back again. Okay, so the reason for telling you this is at the end of your every contract, there is a report made of your performance, which is called as an appraisal on board the ship. At some places, it is called as a performance evaluation. Okay, now this will list out the competencies of the crew member. It will also draw attention to his weaknesses as well, where he needs to improve. Now, this is prepared by their head of department, under whom they work. Okay, now one copy of this appraisal is given to the crew member. Okay, and the other copy is maintained by the ship, which is then sent to the shoreside office. In today's world, I think everything is electronics. So the crew members have got a login ID and password where they can go in and retrieve their appraisals online. So they are not given a physical copy of it right now. Okay. Now, this evaluation will get you your promotion when a vacancy arises. Now, just to let people know who are working on land, that does not mean that if you work for 2 years or 3 years in a particular position, you will automatically get promoted. Okay, so it doesn't happen like that. It is entirely on your performance. How you perform, what is the, as Sushant mentioned, okay, you have to prove that you're doing the job well. Secondly, there has to be a suitable vacancy. Okay, so if there are no vacancies, doesn't mean
True.
that, you know, just because you have done well, you will get a promotion. And how do vacancies arise on board the ship? One is when somebody leaves the ship and there is no replacement that is provided on board. So there is an automatic promotion within the system on board the cruise ship. So that is one opportunity. The other is when the company or the cruise ship company adds another ship to the fleet, there are lots of opportunities for promotions. So people who have been experienced with the company move up the ladder and they take in new staff into the lower levels so that the people on board ship get an opportunity to grow. Okay, that is the policy on most of the cruise ships. The other question that Rajesh asked me was about change of departments.
Yes.
Now, that is very, very selective with each company. Okay, some companies allow transfers from, you know, from any department. Like somebody working in the galley or in the kitchen could move to even to a front office. Okay, but there are certain companies where they say no. He's always been working at back of the house. He is, you know, they are very skeptical about moving him to a front of house position. But there are certain companies which give this opportunity as well. Okay, so it's entirely on your this. Most companies have got a policy that you need to be working in the same position that you were hired for at least 2 contracts before you can apply for a departmental change. Okay, so they can't have anybody say, you know, people joining in one department and very next contract applying for a job change to a different department, because it upsets the whole routine or the setup of the ship. So they are not able to, the company is not able to plan in advance about their changes. So what happens is you are eligible to move. For example, on board a Princess Cruises ship, when you complete 2 contracts and you join the ship for the 3rd contract, you can apply for a job change. And you go through an interview through your head of department, then you are interviewed by the head of department that you wish to get transferred to. And if they find you suitable enough, they give you an opportunity to come and work in that department for a short period of time every day. That's something that they call, you know, you get a chance to do what is called as cross training. Okay, and the other head of department evaluates you during that cross training period. That is maybe an hour a day. After your job is completed here, you go to that department, work for an hour. Then the head of department there will evaluate you, and if he finds you good, he will recommend that job change or that move. That recommendation is then provided to the shoreside HR offices, who will evaluate again. Some companies have an HR manager's interview as well, and if they are found suitable, they get the job change. I know of people personally who have joined in as laundrymen on board a cruise ship and who have moved to front office reception and are today front office managers on board cruise ships.
Wow. Wow.
So it is not that it is not possible. It is possible, provided you really work hard and show your capabilities.
Yeah. So your keenness is more
That's all
important
right.
than ability. Yes. Yes. Thank you, John, for clearing this up. Pramodji, since you're given as a front of the house, you work at the front of house quite some time. No? We wanted to know what are the competencies which are required to work at the front of the house. You have given few in the last question. Do you want to throw some more light on this? Because front of the house is something what most of the people wish to go. Pramod, you want to unmute yourself? Yeah.
Yeah. So the front of the house is when you want to work in restaurant, front office, bar. Let's pick up restaurant and bars for that matter because that's where a lot of people join.
Yes. Wish to. Yeah.
Yeah, wish to. So my recommendation would be if you want to be the front of the house person, so now you are becoming the face of the company because you are standing right in the front and working with the passengers or the guests. So first, what you need is you need to have a good personality to show off with because that's first impression which they look at you has to have a nice personality. Second thing is you need to be, if you're working on a cruise ship, you need to be very resilient. That means you need to be tough from inside. You're entering, as I said before as well, and other my colleagues have said as well, it's a very difficult environment when you start. Uh, so you need to be tough from inside. You need to have an ability to recover from difficult scenarios because when you join as a new person, you don't know what the ship is. There are massive ships right now. You don't know where you're going. You don't know which restaurant is there. You don't know where the galleys are located. You don't know where the ice machines are located. You don't know. You're lost. For you to settle down in a cruise ship in restaurant or a bar, you need at least 3 to 4 weeks when you start to understand what is really happening. So you need to be very resilient for that matter. For second thing, you should be passionate about your work. Not everybody is perfect. You will make mistakes. So if you make mistakes, agree to them, you say sorry, and it'll be over. And you will start learning more better. Second thing is be determined. You come to work on a ship, you need to show that you are going to succeed and make your way out of the first initial difficult times. Everybody who joins a ship, I can bet on it. He can be an executive chef or a general manager. The first month when he comes on board, as a new joiner, it's a very difficult period to go through. So close your eyes, put your head down, go through it. It's like going through a fire, but that thing will make you more stronger. After 1 month, you will settle down, you know your way, you will have a lot of friends, you will mentally be more happier, you know your job, you know your in and outs, and then you start to enjoy the job. So that initial phase is very important. Then you need, of course, first to the house. Your knowledge will take you or make you stand apart from different people. There are a lot of other nationalities. I'm not going to go into deep, but anybody as an Indian, which I'm saying, if you have a solid knowledge base, you will stand out of hundreds of waiters because your menu knowledge will be great, your delivery will be great, your customer ratings will be great, your guest feedback will be great. So that will take care of itself. But the first initial period would be very difficult. Uh, you have to go through. You have to understand um, that your willingness to succeed in an atmosphere goes a long way. The longer you stay with the company or in an organization, there are more the chances you're going to succeed. And keep it that way. Go day by day. Don't think about, oh my God, I'm going to be here for 9 months contract. What's going to happen? I'm going to go be do this. I'm going to do that. No. On a cruise ship, go day by day. The more you take it easy day by day and finish your work day by day, eventually after a couple of months, you will start to feel at ease and you will be on a very, very successful path. And that's my recommendation as well. Of course, communication skills, be energetic, follow your orders, listen to your supervisors, all these basic things you have to go through it. But attitude does matter. I've seen a lot of people, feeling very down when they are new and they say, no, this is not for me, I'm going to go home. But that's not the way it is. Go through it. Even me as well. When I joined first time, I was thinking, oh my God, where I've come. And I'm talking about 2002, 2003. Those times there was no HR department. There was nothing. F&B manager was a god and your head waiter was another god. So you have to bend to your two gods to succeed.
True, true. I agree. Great. Thanks for throwing light on this and telling
So,
us that.
but that's
Yeah.
how you learn. That's how you,
I,
yeah, there was no human resources those times, and there was no and also but I learned through it. Everybody learns through it. All these people who are on a senior position right now, F&B managers, executive chefs, sous chefs, executive sous chefs, F&B managers, general managers, they've gone through a lot
I'm
of hard
sure. I'm
period.
sure.
It's understandable.
Mhm.
Yeah, it has to be understandable, and that's the way you go through it. It's the same way. Remember, cruise ship also has a very what do you call it, strict environment. It's not like a military, but it's very close to military. As John mentioned on everything, the other harassments and
Harassments,
any sort of violence, any
violence,
sort of
fights.
remarks are there's a zero tolerance policy, and you can lose your job. So please just be focused, just be energetic. I will say finish your one contract and then decide if you want to if you want to come back or you don't want to come back. But finish your one contract. I can tell you 99% of people who leave their job on a cruise ships leave in first 4 weeks. If you finish your first 4 weeks, you are
You're
going
safe.
ahead and you're going to work longer and longer with the company and you will have a good career.
Thanks again for again giving this advice that stay for focus, stay per day, no focused, and at least complete 4 weeks. Thanks again, Pramodji. Chef Matthew. No, coming back to the most, we are in this COVID days, and everybody's talking about hygiene. What changes do you think the cruise ships will bring in to make it safe? uh, so that they can start selling. I'm sure it's not going to happen so soon, but what are the few changes which you think?
The few changes that I can talk about the company that I'm working for right now, Royal Caribbean, we are looking at, we already have a request from here to just the students that everything that happens on the cruise ship, the way we work as far as hygiene is concerned, is based on one particular section. And I would strongly recommend that all students, it's something that you can download for free. Go to cdc.gov.bsp. That's CDC, the Center for Disease Control, cdc.gov/BSP. That's the Center for Disease Control.gov at the Vessel Sanitation Program. Everything that you need is Section 7. This is what runs the entire ship. Because in the end, you must understand, because this is not just your washing your hands. Washing your hands is as simple as breathing. That goes without saying. It goes about sanitizing. It's going about the science behind food. What spoils, what doesn't spoil. It's a lot of things trying to keep people safe. But as far as this particular pandemic is concerned, we have the technology right now to get results for the COVID-19 within 24 hours. So there is a train of thought that says that all guests, and I'm talking about 4,000 guests on average, check in to a hotel, a sanitized hotel one day before, and they go through COVID test. Most as you have if a police officer asks you, do you have a license to drive? Either you have a license or you don't have a license. If you don't have a license, you don't drive. So, if you have a license, yeah, CDC stands, for those who ask me what is CDC, CDC stands for cdc.gov and under BSP. Aniket sir has put the link below that, so you know about this. So you have a license, you can drive. If you don't have a license, you can't drive. You just have to park in your car. You cannot continue on the road because the license did not come. So right now, we have the technology right now for people to have to check in one day before, and you can show that you are you give a sample, and next day if your sample says you're all green,
You're good to go.
and it's just as this thing. As this technology gets better and better, we would be looking at where it's something like even checking your blood sugar, where you don't have to extract blood. Ideally, if we could do that, that would be great. Where even a pinprick of blood on your this thing will show either you're in or you're out. There's no shades of grey. If there's a reason that you may be infected, you don't get to get on the cruise ships. A lot of places where people come in contact with higher buffet restaurants and your dining rooms. So that is going to change.
Yes, dining
Probably,
rooms.
yeah, we'll probably have staggered seatings. We'll have more dining rooms, more converted into formal dining rooms. There is space, there'll be increased sanitation, and there are specific chemicals that do the sanitation. Which means that we have to make sure it's all about trust. Trust that the place you're going to will serve food that is safe for me, for my family, for my near and dear ones. People I'm sitting with is not going to get me sick. They aren't COVID positive, COVID negative. That that their test comes out that it's all good. Second, when you come to buffets, the idea of self-service buffets is going to go back, and we will probably have the buffets where you approach the buffet, but it will be served to you. You don't touch the tongs. Thereby, there's a chance of you touching something. The food is right there in front of you, maybe 2 feet in front of you, and you could say, I would like to have 2 pieces of that, and they will serve it to you. You can have as much as you want, just like a buffet, only you're not going to touch the tongs. It's going to be served to you. So that is the one big thing where people could get in touch with food and take tongs. It would be a lot more sanitation, hand sanitizer, sanitation would be increased. The technology is good there. People are working. This morning, 2,000 on the Infinity on Celebrity cruise ships came home.
Yes, for almost 4,000 people. Yeah.
The world has ended. Like I was telling Mr. Aniket yesterday, that the Stone Age did not end because we ran out of stones. The Stone Age ended because we discovered bronze.
Because we discovered fire.
If I had to check my blood sugar, I had to go make an appointment with the doctor. Now take blood. They will take it 24 hours later. They will do this thing. Now, I can check my blood on my cell phone. Scanner that's attached to your cell phone, and you get it. You have it or you don't have it. So it's just a matter of time. One thing you must understand in this room, all the students have to know this. This is for the past. Past is be ready, because when they are ready to open, you don't have the skills to make it to that cut. Then you fall back. Let faster go waste. This is a pandemic. It gives you to prepare yourself, like Mr. Pramod said. It's all good. There was a time when if you spoke one foreign language, if you spoke Spanish, you made extra money on your tips.
Extra, yeah. Learn a good language.
What is wrong? It's like adding sugar to milk. It just dissolves inside. You learn a new language, it makes it better. Numbers that you come from. Learn a new language, that is good. We are ready to open right now.
It will take time. They may not be the sentiments. Probably it will take time for people to get complete confidence back. Yes.
So, in short, this is what it is. We have the technology to start right now, but the numbers have to come down. We've been doing runs on our ships of how we are going to go to it. Of buffet restaurants, the only thing that's going to stop is your self-service. Your seatings are going to be more scattered. You're going to have more venues. The people, our buffet restaurants are now going to have seatings. Earlier we could have 3,000 people walking into my buffet restaurant in 2 hours. Now it's going to be staggered. There's going to be a certain number of distancing. As long as those things are followed, that is good. Because all of you all have been, we started off with the first thing that, okay, you're hereby COVID negative. If you're COVID negative, life is good. And then we follow the procedures. And when you see smoke, there could be fire. And you take care of the fire. You take care of things as they happen. Life is good. I think we are due to open in July. We will probably be opening Texas, Florida, two ports in Florida. We'll be opening Galveston in Texas and Fort Lauderdale. And by the end of August, beginning of September, God willing, if we are going to open Australia in August.
Australia in August. So that's good news. That's good news.
Talks that we are going on right now. Maybe it's even earlier, maybe it's a little later, but the fact is, it's happening.
So thank you.
For people coming back.
Thank you, Chef, for giving the positive note, and giving us the confidence that yes, it's not the end of the world, and a lot of things are going to come back. Thank you, everybody, for all your questions and answers. We almost come to the end of the session. I'm afraid, our principal Wilson Lucas is not able to come on to because he has another pressing matter. He's asked me to excuse, requesting to be excused himself. So can I ask our Chef Aniket to do the closing honors? And there's one question which has come. A lot of people are actually liking Chef Sushant presence here because he is our ex-student. They all want to know your troubles, Chef. So maybe we will touch that later on. But I think most of the cases we have already covered it. It's just that you need to have, and he himself has said that social there are trouble, but you need to be strong enough. Over to you, Aniket, to do the closing rounds.
Thank you, Rajesh. It was a wonderful session, the mock sessions. I think I have learned a lot from the mock sessions. I would like to start off by thanking John Scaria for being a part of this session. A lot to know from him. His journey from being a zero to a hero. So he was not shy to talk about his waiters. He started his career as a waiter, and then today he's recruiting people into the cruise industry. And still, his modesty, his humbleness, his humility. I would like to touch your feet, sir. Thank you very much for being a part of this session. Coming to Mr. Pramod Verma, actually, when Rajesh told me that Mr. Pramod Verma is going to be a part of this session, I saw his qualifications and came to know that he's a restaurant manager at Residency. And I really didn't know about this. And during my mock sessions, I asked him, what is the world about? And that is how I came to know that he is part of a very different world where there are about 65 rooms which are purchased by the millionaires and the billionaires of the world, in which I came to know there are two Indians who have bought rooms on that ship. So I'm so proud that there are two Indians, at least from the 65 rooms.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Pramod Verma, for being a part of this session. Coming to the next gentleman, that is the greatest chef which I met, and I think a well-read chef and a task master. That is what I came to know from Sushant Kandagle, that is Joseph Matthews. So thank you very much, sir, to be a part of this session. I know you had a problem with your audio, but I hope whatever you said was reached out properly to the forum, and obviously a lot of things to take from you as far as being a taskmaster, and you have actually created a lot of Sushant Khandagles around you. So thank you very much for assisting my student Sushant Khandagle through his journey of the ship. And coming down, obviously, to my student Sushant Khandagle, I remember John Scaria sir saying it very correctly that he shot up the ranks at a very early age. 7 years from being a commie to becoming a junior sous chef. So thank you very much, Sushant. Actually, Sushant was the person who tied up Joseph Matthews into this particular webinar. And above all, I would like to thank the moderator of this show, that is Mr. Rajesh Daktode, who is the Director of Operations of RAPS MICA. I have really learned a lot from this session, and I hope the students have taken a lot from this session. So without much ado, I would like to call off the session and thank you once again to this wonderful people who are in the cruise industry. As Sushant Kandagle quoted, that you have to move with the ship. So let's move along with COVID and let's conquer COVID and join the ships. Those who want to join the ships, let me tell you, you have to have, as rightly mentioned by Mr. Pramod Verma, you have to be resilient. So let's let's have this resilience throughout COVID, and hope that all of you. I did not get a chance to work on the ships. I really tried, but I that at that moment I think I didn't know John Scaria was. I hope John Scaria.
Now you know Mr. Scaria.
So, anyways, I don't regret, but today I am living the experiences shared by all, sir. Thank you very much. I would like to say thank you, goodbye, Shapa Khair, Masalama.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God
Thank
bless.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye.
Thank you
much.
very much.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye
Rajesh
bye.
sir.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you, Aditya.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Aniket. Bye
Thank
bye.
you,
Thank you. Bye
Rajesh.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Aditya.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sushant. Bye.
Prashant sir, hello. Prashant sir, Rahul sir है? Rahul sir, hello Rahul sir, hello, hello, hello.